You know, another thing that came up in our class was so many people did not have the idea that made them successful. It came from somebody else, and they just had the intelligence to recognize the idea when they heard it.
Right. No, and there's no question about that. That is the. It would be wonderful if we could all just invent the best idea, but
right.
The truth of the matter is, hearing what other people are doing makes life a lot easier. My son started a little company called Pick-a-Prof, and he started at A&M, and it was a way of providing services to college students to answer the critical questions about how does a teacher grade and who is the best teacher. I used to say it answered all 2 out of the 3 most important questions that every freshman asked. The third one was, where are the girls?
Right.
It didn't answer that, but it did answer, who is the best teacher and how did they grade? And he and the company was quite successful, did very well, and he is the first one to say it was not his idea. It came from another student. He went to the student though and said, I'd like to run with this. And the other young man said, to me it was just a class project. I'm out of it, have fun.
Right.
And but he picked that ball up and eventually had about 20 people working for him. And as I say, for a long time, the company did pretty well and provided a valuable service. And so my theory is ask an expert. If I'm going to buy a horse, I ask an expert.
Right.
If I'm going to buy a tractor, I ask an expert.
Right.
I want to know from someone who knows how to do this. And it's paid off very well for me over the years.
Well, this idea of hearing an idea, a good idea, and recognize it played out hugely in my life a number of times, but most recently, about 12 or 13 years ago, I know you know this story, I was in Dallas and I go to lunch at Houston's restaurant one day, and I walk in and go to the bar and I sit down, and immediately the guy next to me says, I'm in the greatest business ever. Well, okay, I'm biting, what business is that? And he tells me it's the reverse mortgage business. And I'm like, well, what's a reverse mortgage? And he explains, and he says, Texas was the last state in the union to get reverse mortgages, and they just come to Texas. And he explains a little more about it. And Bill, instantly, I know that's the business for me. And so I walk out of the restaurant, and the stars were aligned to some degree, and I was able to grow it to be the largest reverse mortgage company in Texas and the 4th biggest in the country. And again, the idea came from someone else.
Sure.
And I saw that play out numerous times in my career.
No, you got to, once again, you got to be able to listen.
That's right.
If you don't listen, those ideas will not come
Maybe
your
that's
way.
another one of our lessons.
That should be one of our lessons, because I think it is very, very important.
Right, right.